Listen.
This is Pixar's Sophie's Choice, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying.
And
Just kidding.
Best Disney
I don't approve that
romance.
message.
Now, I'll be honest. I legit thought this was a DreamWorks animation, which, as a cartoon, I feel very prejudiced to even be judging sketches by their shading. But the truth is, even though Pixar has switched up the look, even though, their promo now consists of the lead actors coming in for trailer reactions, even as, sadly, voice acting seems to be turning more into actors whose voices we recognize, it still has that Pixar ending. One that's so good, they had to use it twice.
And we do multiple screenings of the movie. And whenever you look at the first screening versus what we released theatrical, it's really different. But the ending, we boarded it once on screening 1, and we haven't touched it.
Let me explain. So for those who don't know, big spoilers coming up right here. It is on Disney Plus, so go check it out if you haven't. But Onward tells the story of two boys who, through magic, get the chance to bring back their father for one day, but sadly are missing his top part. Which really ain't half bad, considering some of us are still missing the whole. Prior to the magical elements, the dad was originally written to be a scientist who was working on a machine to bring back the dead, and that's what the sons would eventually use to reboot him, but swapping it to a magical world allowed it to become a character of its own.
This is a world that has sort of lost touch with its potential, and Ian is a guy who's too scared to get in touch with his, and we get to watch the world and Ian change at the same time.
Pretty much this world gave up magic for convenience, which I think is a really good lesson there. I just don't know if plumbers would have done that as well. Like, I get it, not even Hogwarts has their mythos down when it comes to poop, but come on. Just like the world around him, Ian is too insecure to do anything. Like, he literally never commits. Wait, bro. The one thing you did do was dip early like you're fine. That's also something we see within the other characters. Octavia Spencer's character is supposed to be this brave warrior, but she's stuck working at a medieval times. The mom won't leave her beard. Barley, Ian's brother, has a serial addiction to his board game that even his mom tells him to
start thinking less about the past and more about your future.
So come Ian's birthday, the mom gives them a gift that their dad had left behind for his sons once they both turned 16. And since Chris damn near 35. Ironically, it's Ian, not Barley, who can conjure up the spell to bring back their father. And if we would have gotten the top half, bro, this would have been Pixar John Krasinski. The 2.5 men dip on a road trip in order to find the gem that'll complete the spell, and their mama chases right after them.
One of them is afraid of everything, and the other isn't afraid of anything.
Now, see, when I had heard that there was an LGBT character in this Disney movie, they were making like a big deal about it, even bringing back Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I don't know why it took him so long to invite me. I'm actually kind of offended by that. But anyway,
I was for sure it was going to be these two who go on the run, who tranquilize a working civilian in a Pixar film. But nah, it was just another easily swappable LGBT edit.
I'm meeting the Manticore for a night out.
Who wants cake?
Oh, but look, they stuck in another two! Since it's practically a road trip movie, it is kind of relying on Pratt and Holland's chemistry, which, they've teamed up before.
The gag is blown, so now since I have brother to brother, what's the best thing about your brother, Chris Pratt?
That he knows Tom Holland.
That said, and I do love Tom Holland, look, I love him, but they have packaged and patented my boy.
And it just was really nice to just kind of be me for a little bit, albeit I had an American accent.
He does have a great scene when he's conversing with old recordings of his father, and I thought that was sad the first time I saw it, but then I heard the director say that the film is based off his own personal story, and that
Dan, who wrote and directed the film, when he was pitching it to me originally, it's a very personal story for him. It's loosely based on something in his own life with him and his brother. They lost their dad at a young age and found these tapes, audio recordings of his dad's voice, so he'd never heard his dad's voice.
Chris is still funny. Before he blew up, I did find him extremely annoying because they always had him as that side character who would never shut up. But it's nice to see him still disrupting the Parks and Rec department.
Barley?
They're destroying the town's past.
That said, I thought his character was too goofy in this. He is that one guy who just never makes it out. This man has parking violations that he thought would magically fly away. All this knowledge that he talks about, yet he had a little girl solve the map.
Little Kayla already solved the puzzle.
This man can read his magic cards, never the room.
You calling me lazy? No, not you. Your ancestors.
This man really put a O on the Prindle.
Put it in O for Onward.
I'm just glad they haven't fully Biebered Pratt, and look, he is still slick in his interviews.
what was more emotional for you guys, Iron Man's death or the ending of this film?
Well, I haven't seen the film yet, and
Avengers? What do you think
down
Rotten
with me.
Tomatoes is going to give it?
I think 100%.
During their quest, they obviously come across A lot of Pixar Easter eggs, like the classic A113 classroom.
We got A113 in progress. All units report.
Since Coco, they've been rebranding the Pizza Planet truck, depending on the location. So in Mexico, they call it Pizza Planeta, but here it's called Pizza Realm, which obviously goes with their setting and is perfect to go with the halt signs and the fry fortresses. John Ratzenberger, who's voiced a character in pretty much every Pixar film, also voices a construction worker towards the end.
Yeah, we know, the old days.
No, stop!
And then, of course, Trimple Dent and Poultry Palace appear again in another Pixar film, because it's really only a matter of time before they come to Disneyland and Disney World. In terms of animation, I highly recommend this video right here by the Pixar cinematographers who shot Onward. They talk about using different camera setups to capture the brothers, because, you know, they're in different states of mind. They even get into putting up street lights to light these cartoons in real time. One of the best moments comes in that leap of faith scene that they talk about in that video. Great bit, great character building. You know it's serious when the beanie comes off. And I should have known better than to think I wasn't going to get hit in the gut.
You know what? Dan told me early on, he goes, you know what I want to do? I want to make a movie that's really fun and hilarious and entertaining, and I want to like sucker punch them with emotion at the end that you kind of didn't see coming.
You don't say. The ending Pixar moment, it's great. Granted, they did have that score so loud it probably forced a tear out, but when Ian finally realizes that his brother has been the father figure all along, that he's crossed off everything on that list, minus his parking fees, it was fantastic.
This is a film about support and those people that went above and beyond to help you become who you are today. I think everybody knows someone like that. It doesn't mean that it's your father or your mother or even your brother or sister.
And like I said, it's so good they hit you with it again 15 minutes later.
I never had a dad, but I always had you.
The fact Ian never got to say hello, but still gave up his chance for his brother who never got to say goodbye to do so. I also liked how Pixar had us waiting this entire time to see the dad, you know? This entire adventure is just to see the top half of their father's figure. And then the climax happens and we're like a kingdom away from it. And I loved it. Then we get hit with that ending again. Overall, I was quick to judge Pixar's new venture, but it is an interesting world that they've created. They say they have plans to, surprise, franchise it, but I actually do think the comic and the games that they have in mind will be entertaining, since it'll have the same creative team. As for the movie, it's got the magic we're looking for. I'm not saying it's top half Pixar, they got it right, but it is a cute reminder to embrace the people around you, who no matter what, are always there to make sure you keep moving ahead. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. It is over on Disney Plus, so if you haven't seen it, give it a watch if you have that. And I do like the idea that they had going on here. I think that the main Pixar story with the kids, fantastic, but I really did like the shift that they had of making technology almost like a form of magic.
What if you could bring that person back? What would I do with another day? What would we do with another day with someone we lost?
I know a lot of people may not agree with me, but I still think that the director's previous, Monsters University, which I think people hate too much, it's not perfect either, but I do think it's a little bit better than Onward. But I'm also curious to hear your thoughts and interpretations, all the other Easter eggs that may have been in there. There was a lawsuit also, I feel like I need to mention. It's still like in the works, but it has to do with the van, which is like a huge part of the movie. So I'll leave this little link right there in case you guys want to hear more about it. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And Tom Holland will play an awkward teenager again.